Right. So I decided to do a model of Miller's Court in Blender, just because I'm quite fascinated with the Jack the Ripper stories and the whole Victorian Spitalfields and Whitechapel type areas. Always found history fascinating. I just thought I'd add a little sort of tribute to Kelly and or Mary Kelly, and just do a little model, um, just out of interest really, and just to keep. I've not seen anyone else do one of these models before, so I thought I'd do it. You know. Anyway, so Mary Kelly, um, early 1888, moved into 13 Miller's Court, which this actual model was taken from a picture that I saw. Sort of reimagined the rest of what it would have looked like, because you can only see in most of the pictures just the corner part. And through the tunnel up there goes into Dorset Street. Um, it's number 13 and had sparse sort of furnished single room. Um, it's a 12-foot square room with a bed, three tables, a chair, and above the fireplace hung a print of the Fisherman's Widow. It's a painting, and a small tin bath was beneath the bed. Two irregularly sized windows faced the yard, in which the dustbin and water tap served the property. The door opened directly into the 26-foot long arched passageway which connected Miller's Court with Dorset Street. The door was illuminated at night by a gas lamp located almost directly opposite the door to the property. Kelly had lost the door key, instead bolting and unbolting the door from outside and putting a hand through the broken window beside the door. A German neighbour, Julia Venturni, claimed Kelly had broken this window when drunk, and that a man's coat was frequently placed in this window pane to both act as a curtain and prevent giraffe from entering the room. According to Kelly's friend and neighbour Lizzie Albrook, Kelly was heartedly sick of the life she was leading by 1888 and wished to return to Ireland where her people lived. Her landlord, John McCarthy, later recollected she was a very quiet woman when sober but noisy when in drink. When drunk, Kelly would often be heard singing Irish songs, although when intoxicated she would often become quarrelsome and even abusive to those around her, which earned her the other nickname, Dark Mary. Kelly lived with a guy called Barnett, and Barnett lost his employment as a fish porter in 1888, in July 1888, reportedly due to committing theft. As a result, Kelly again resorted to prostitution. According to Bennett, she began to allow other prostitutes to sleep in her room on cold, bitter nights, as she did not have the heart to refuse them shelter. Initially, Barnett was tolerant of this until he and Kelly quarrelled over her sharing the room with a prostitute he knew only as Julia. Barnett subsequently left 13 Miller's Court on 30th of October, more than a week before her death, taking lodgings at 24 to 25 New Street, Bishopsgate. Nonetheless, between the 1st and the 8th of November, Barnett visited Kelly on an almost daily basis, occasionally giving her money. Barnett visited Kelly for the last time between 7 and 8 p.m. on the 8th of November. He found her in the company of a friend of hers named Maria Harvey. Barnett did not stay at the property for long and apologised for having no money to give her. Both he and Harvey left Miller's Court at around the same time. Barnett returned to his lodging house, where he played cards with other residents until falling asleep about 12:30 a.m. Shortly before Barnett left Miller's Court, Lizzie Albrook, who visited Kelly, later recollected that Kelly was sober, and one of the last things she had said to her was, "Whatever you do, don't you do wrong and turn out as I have." In the early evening, Kelly is known to have had a drink in the Ten Bells pub with a woman named Elizabeth Foster. Later that evening, Kelly was seen drinking with two acquaintances at the Horn of Plenty pub on Dorset Street. Fellow Millers Court resident and prostitute, 31-year-old Anne Cox, who described herself as a widow and unfortunate, reported seeing Kelly returning home drunk and in the company of a stout, ginger-haired man, aged approximately 36, at 11:45 p.m. The man was wearing a black felt bowler hat and a thick moustache, blotches on his face, and was carrying a can of beer. Cox and Kelly wished each other good night, with Kelly adding, "I'm going to have a song." Kelly then entered her room with the man, who closed the door as Cox returned to her own lodgings at 5 Millers Court. Kelly was then heard singing a song, "A Violet Mother's Grave." She was still singing when Cox left lodgings at midnight, and when she returned approximately 1 hour later at 1 a.m., Elizabeth Prater resided in a room directly above Kelly. When she went to bed at 1:30 a.m., the singing had stopped. Hope you enjoyed the video and the model, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and obviously comment. I'd like to hear your comments on it, and what I could have done better, and you know, what other future models you'd like to see.